Okay, so for pacing, before we do that, we want to make sure that BLS measures are in place. If possible, we'd like to try to have a 12 lead before we can do that. So once we have that, everything else is being managed. We'll put the pads anterior, posterior, and we'll make sure we have our lead 2 on, otherwise the pacer will not work. So we're going to put pacer right here. Right now it looks like we have a 3rd degree block on the monitor. You're going to want to click with the arrows, start pacer. You're going to increase we have our frequency, we'll set it to 80. And we're going to slowly increase the output until we have capture, and we're going to feel the carotid as we do that. So we're looking, we don't see capture yet. And now we do have capture at 55. So we're gonna increase it by 10. So now we have it at 65, and we'll keep it at that setting. We're gonna reassess the patient, ask them how they're feeling, check a GCS. We're gonna wanna take another blood pressure. We felt a mechanical pulse there. With that blood pressure coming back more higher, patient might be in some pain, so we can consider procedural sedation with midazolam or fentanyl or both afterwards.
Hello, Mr. Fish. So just a few clarifying terms from our assignment that Jesse did there. Keynotes, we had limb leads on. The reason why we did this is because when we start pacing, it's really hard for the Zoll to detect the paced rhythm and an underlying rhythm. That way, because we have the pacer set on to demand, that way if their intrinsic rate increases, because they have the 2 lead on, it can switch off and you can just go straight off of their heart rate instead of our paced rhythm. I think we mentioned in the video, we have the pads, anterior, posterior, and then, like I said earlier, we would have it on a demand pacing. When Jesse was doing the video there, the word capture we kind of used in and out. It would be electrical capture, so we're looking for a QRS after every single pacer spike. And then once we have electrical capture, we increase by 10%, and then we look for mechanical capture after that. For this individual, we would look for, we could do a carotid and radial, it would be mostly a carotid pulse, just because it has a low symptomatic bradycardia. It's not necessarily going to have a radial pulse right away. After that, he mentioned procedural sedation. It's not really in the skill assignment, it's just a consideration as well. And then classic other vital stuff, like if his pressure doesn't come up, or if you don't get mechanical capture, stuff like that, electrical capture, there's other alternative treatments such as like dopamine, fluid boluses, and oxygen, and all those fun things. But yeah, that's it. One last note, I'm not sure if it was said explicitly, but it was mentioned in both videos just to get it out there. This is for the symptomatic bradycardia directive. They do transcutaneous pacing. You do it, so say you walk in and the patient's dependent and you don't think they are appropriate for like atropine or something like that, kind of increase the heart more slowly, and like your fluid bolus and stuff like that isn't working, like when Jesse was saying, like BLS measures in place, ALS measures that we've already tried, and it requires further intervention. Symptomatic bradycardia, heart rate under 50, not 60, under 50, and a low blood pressure are kind of like the 2 key indication points there. Yeah. And then the key contraindication for transcutaneous pacing is hypothermia, in case you wanted to just add in everything that we're doing there. But that's the general idea of what you're looking for, why you're doing it, and what you're looking for, and a quick, easy explanation through the steps required for transcutaneous pacing. Hope you enjoy.